Morning. Television Pool Thailand welcomes you to the live telecast of the Royal Merit Making Ceremony on the 15th day, Panrasamawan, in dedication to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, at Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall in the Grand Palace. On Saturday, the 8th of November, 2025, the ceremony will begin at 10 a.m. Thai time. Your narrator is Captain Dr. Yungyut Mayalab, and you can listen to this live telecast narrated in English if your television set has a dual language system, or via the website prd.prd.go.th and Facebook NBT World. So for this morning, the event is on the occasion of the 15th day following the passing of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. The Thai word Panrasamawan is an archaic royal and Pali Sanskrit derived term meaning the 15th day. And in Thai royal and religious custom, it specifically refers to the 15th day following a person's passing, that is the 15th day of mourning. And thus, พระราชพิธีบำเพ็ญพระราชกุศลปันรสมวาน means the royal merit making ceremony on the 15th day following the passing of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. And it holds deep religious and cultural significance in Thai Buddhist royal tradition. It marks a key stage in the karmic dedication process. After a person's passing, merit is made at intervals, typically on the 3rd, 7th, 15th, 50th and 100th days, and on the anniversary to dedicate this spiritual benefit. In royal tradition, these merit-making rites are conducted with solemn formality. The Panrasamawan ceremony signifies the continuity of royal benevolence and gratitude. As members of the royal family, senior monks and officials participate in the chanting and offering alms to monks. It represents a communal act of remembrance, a reaffirmation of reverence, mourning and dedication to the virtuous life of the departed monarch or royal personage. As for the event this morning, the royal merit-making ceremony on the occasion of the 15th day following the passing of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, 24th of October 2025. At 10 a.m., the royal motor car will arrive at the gate of Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall beside the Rajakaranya Sabha Pavilion. Their Majesties will ascend by the Prasat porch of Piman Rataya Throne Hall and proceed into this hall of the Dusit Maha Prasat, passing members of the royal family in attendance to the site of the royal urn. Her Royal Highness Princess Maha will stand before the royal chair. Her Royal Highness Princess Julapon Krumapra Sri Sawangkawat, Her Royal Highness Princess Atityathon Tikun will stand before their royal chairs. His Majesty the King will light the incense and candles of the royal offering set of gold with Rajavadi enamel, and will also light the incense and candles of the small golden offering set, Krung Thong Noi, before the royal urn, and will pay homage. Her Majesty the Queen will light the incense and candles of the secondary royal offering set of gold with enamel, and will also light the incense and candles of the small golden offering set before the royal urn, and will also pay homage. His Majesty the King will then proceed to light the incense and candles of the double-tiered golden offering tray in veneration of the Buddha image of Her Majesty the Queen Mother's birthday before the royal altar under the 9-tiered white umbrella, and we pay homage. The shrine, you can be seen on the screen just a moment ago, is placed right in the middle of the Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall. Officials will then invite His Holiness Somdet Phra Ariya Wongsakatayan, the Supreme Patriarch, to present the Buddhist precepts. His Holiness will present the Buddhist precept, and upon completion, 30 monks that chanted the Buddhist protective verses of Paritta yesterday will then present blessing. The 30 monks are now on the monastic platform participating in the event. His Majesty the King will then proceed to make the offerings of food contained in tiffin carriers to His Holiness the Supreme Patriarch, honorific monks at the level of Somdet Parachakana and Parachakana, until all 10 honorific monks have been presented with the offerings. The tiffin carriers are the items that you can see in front of the Sangha, placed on the monastic platform at the moment. His Majesty will graciously designate members of the royal family, royal cousins, members of the Privy Council, and high-ranking officials to present the offerings of food in tiffin carriers to the remaining 20 monks who chanted the Parita yesterday during the royal merit-making ceremony in the evening. Then His Majesty will proceed to offer saffron robes to the group of 30 monks who chanted Parita yesterday. These will be divided into 3 groups of 10 monks to take their seats on the monastic platform to receive the saffron robe offerings from His Majesty. The 30 monks will then chant the Sadapakon verse on being offered the saffron robes. Their Majesties the King and Queen will pour the lustre water as a gesture of disseminating merit made to the deceased. The monk will chant Anumotana and benedictions. The offering of saffron robes to further 93 monks will then be conducted by His Majesty the King and by Her Majesty the Queen and Her Royal Highness Princess Maha, who are graciously designated by His Majesty the King. The total of 93 monks is symbolically equivalent in number to the age of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. On being offered these saffron robes, they will chant the Sadapakon verse or requiem for the deceased. His Majesty will then proceed to the front of the table offerings in front of the royal platform, underneath the 98th great white umbrella of state, to pay homage to the principal Buddha image of the event, which is the Buddha image of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother's birthday. Their Majesties the King and Queen will proceed to the front of the royal urn and will pay homage to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. His Majesty the King will then proceed to light the incense and candles of the mother of pearl offering trays before the altars, where the royal funeral monks will chant the Abhidhamma scriptures on both the eastern and western sides of the northern portico of Dusit Prasat Hall. The monks at the platforms will then start the chanting of the Abhidhamma scriptures. Then their Majesties, accompanied by His Royal Highness Prince Tipankon Rasami Chod, Mahawachi Rotamangkun, Sri Vibun Rajakuman, and her noble consort, Sininat Pilat Kalayani, will then depart from Dusit Prasat Hall. And that will be the end of the royal ceremony this morning. So you're now seeing the participating monks. The 30 monks who chanted the Parita verses yesterday, joining for the merit-making ceremony, being offered the food contained in the tiffin carriers, to be presented by His Majesty the King, Her Majesty the Queen, the royal cousins, as well as high-ranking officials. On the 26th of October, 2025, the Bureau of the Royal Household made announcement regarding paying homage to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. By royal permission, the general public may pay respects before the portrait of Her Majesty at Salasa Thai Samakom in the Grand Palace daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. commencing Monday 27th of October 2025, and a royal condolence book will be provided at the venue for signing. By royal permission, the general public may have an audience and pay respects before the royal remains at Pratinang Dusit Prasat, which is here, after the completion of 15 days of the royal merit-making ceremony, daily from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., commencing Sunday, the 9th of November 2025, which is tomorrow. And by royal permission, members of the royal family, the Privy Council, the Cabinet, organizations, government agencies, state enterprises, the private sector, and the general public may co-host the chanting of the Abhidhamma scriptures for the royal remains after the completion of 100 days of the royal merit-making ceremony. The Sangha Supreme Council, in response to the solemn occasion, has issued the following directives for observance by the Sangha, temples across Thailand and temples abroad. First is the establishment of royal altars. All temples are to prepare a royal altar displaying a portrait of or painting of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, accompanied by appropriate offerings, floral arrangements and candles. The altar should be placed within the ordination hall or main ceremonial area and opened for public homage. Secondly, daily merit-making ceremonies. Temples are to conduct daily prayer or Abhidhamma recitations for 30 consecutive days, beginning October 26, 2025, dedicating the merit to Her Majesty. Thirdly, special merit ceremonies. On commemorative days, temples are to hold royal merit-making ceremonies on the following days. The 7th day, which was the 30th of October, 2025, 15th day, which was the 7th of November 2025, and also today. 50th day will be on the 12th of December 2025, and the 100th day will be on the 31st of January 2026. These may include almsgiving, sermons, chanting, and the offering of meals or requisites to monks. Fourthly, provincial meditation centers. All provincial meditation centers are to organize special meditation and Dharma practice programs on the same commemorative days to dedicate merit to Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. Fifthly, daily meditation by the Sangha. Monks nationwide are to perform daily evening prayer and meditation throughout the morning period as an offering of merit to Her Majesty. And sixthly, public participation. The public is encouraged to join merit-making, meditation and Dharma practice to honor Her Majesty's royal grace and lifelong dedication to the Thai people. The resolution represents a unified expression of reverence and gratitude by the Thai Sangha and Buddhist faithful across the kingdom and abroad in remembrance of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, whose passing is a profound moment of mourning for the nation. His Majesty the King graciously granted the books สมเด็จแม่กับการศึกษา or Her Majesty the Queen Mother and Education, and another books titled เสด็จดอยจดหมายเหตุรายวันคราประทับภูพิงราชนิเวศเชียงใหม่พ.ศ. 2513 or Journey to the Mountain, daily journey during the royal residence at Phuping Rachaniwet Palace, Chiang Mai, 1970. On the occasion of the royal merit-making ceremony on the 15th day for the royal funeral of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. And on the 5th of November 2025, the Bureau of the Royal Household announced the arrangements for the paying of respects to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, at the Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall in the Grand Palace as follows. Pursuant to the gracious royal permission granted by His Majesty the King for members of the public to pay their respects to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, at the Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall in the Grand Palace, after the completion of the royal merit-making ceremony on the 15th day. The public will be allowed to enter and pay homage daily from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., commencing on Sunday, the 9th of November 2025. The Bureau has designated 4 time periods during which members of the public may pay their respects as follows. Period 1, 8 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Period 2, 1200 hours to 1645 hours. Period 3, 1745 hours to 1830 hours. And period 4, 1945 hours to 2100 hours. Regarding attire, those coming to pay respects to the royal remains are kindly requested to dress properly in mourning attire, black or white. Shirts should have collars. Sleeveless clothing is not permitted. Hill tribe visitors may wear their traditional dress. Scouts may wear their scout uniform. Ladies must wear a skirt or traditional Thai wraparound skirt or patung only. Jean skirts or jean trousers are not permitted. All members of the public arriving at the Sanam Luang area to pay homage at the Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall in the Grand Palace must go through security screening and wait at the resting tents provided by the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, where chairs are available. Volunteer officials will lead visitors to the underground passage at Naparan Road, entrance gate number 1. All will undergo bag inspection and body scanning, during which facial photographs will be taken at the scanning machine. After that, officials will give guidance and inspect attire to ensure conformity with the Bureau of the Royal Household's regulations. Ladies who are not wearing a skirt or patung must change into a patung at the wraparound skirt service point located at the Naparan underpass, exit 2. And there are certain procedures to follow too. The official will then escort visitors to the Mani Noparat gate to enter the area of the Grand Palace by walking along the wall of the temple of the Emerald Buddha, passing the ticket office to the Grand Palace, and then turning right into the temple grounds. Continue by turning left along the southern cloister of the temple, exit through the Sri Ratana Sasada gate, and proceed past the group of royal halls, Amarin Trawinichai Mahaisuryapiman Throne Hall, and Chakri Mahaprasad Throne Hall, and entering the Dusit Mahaprasad Throne Hall on the eastern side to pay homage to the royal remains as directed by the officials of the Bureau of the Royal Household. Furthermore, the Bureau of the Royal Household also announced that the Grand Palace will reopen to tourists and the general public between 8:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. starting from tomorrow, the 9th of November 2025 onwards. Tourists entering the Grand Palace are to use Mani Noparat Gate, turn left along the wall of the Temple of the Emerald Buddha. Foreign tourists may purchase the tickets at the ticket office of the Grand Palace. Then turn right to enter the temple grounds. Turn left along the southern cloister, exit to the Sri Ratana Sasadaram gate, pass the group of royal halls, and turn right to exit through the Piman Chaisi gate, and proceed along Chakri Jalan Road, turn left at Sala Lukun intersection, and enter the Queen Sirikit Museum of Textiles. After visiting, they can turn right to exit through the Viman Tewet gate. Recently, Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sarinthorn presided over the sacred ceremony of consecration for the restoration of the royal chariots, royal palanquins, and ceremonial accessories to be used in the royal cremation ceremony of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. The ceremony took place at the National Museum, Bangkok, with the attendance of Tan Vujing Sirikitiya Jensen, Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul, and senior officials who paid their respects during the royal visit. So you're now seeing the interior of the Dusit Mahaprasad Throne Hall, the venue where the royal merit-making ceremony will take place very soon. The hall was built in the reign of King Praputtayot Fa Chulalok the Great, or Rama I, the founder of the Royal House of Chakri. The monks are now on the monastic platform in readiness for the royal merit-making ceremony to take place. There'll be the chanting of the 5 precepts by His Holiness the Supreme Patriarch. And these 5 precepts, the Buddhists undertake as aids on the path to coming into contact with ultimate reality. Lay people generally undertake 5 precepts or 5 virtues, the fundamental code of Buddhist ethics. And these are: I undertake the precept to refrain from harming living creatures. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not freely given or stealing. I undertake the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct. I undertake the precept to refrain from incorrect speech, lying, harsh language, slander, and so on. And I undertake the precept to refrain from intoxicants which lead to loss of mindfulness. The laity undertake to follow these training rules at the same time as they become Buddhists, taking refuge in the Triple Gem, in the Buddha as the teacher, in the Dharma as the teaching, and thirdly in the Sangha as the spiritual community. Like all aspects of Buddhist Dharma or teaching, the 5 virtues are regarded as logically rather than supernaturally derived and are to be undertaken voluntarily rather than commandments. You can see the area in the center of the hall of Dusit Maha Prasat. This is where the พระพุทธรูปประจำพระชนมวาน or Buddha image commissioned by the king or members of the royal family to commemorate their significant occasions such as birthday being enshrined. As for the พระพุทธรูปประจำพระชนมวาน of the birthday anniversary of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, who possessed the utmost royal faith in commissioning this Buddha image as a remembrance on the auspicious occasion of Her Majesty's 5th cycle birthday anniversary, the 12th of August 1992. This is a Buddha image made of 96% pure silver and was cast on the 25th of June 1992, with Her Majesty herself performing the crucial ceremonial proceedings in her capacity as the Queen Mother. This Buddha image is placed here as the principal Buddha image for the royal merit making ceremony. It is 1 inch in height from the octagonal base to the Buddha's feet, and an additional 1 inch from the inverted and upright lotus base, making the total height up to the Ushnisha of 9 inches. The pensive attitude Buddha image is the Buddha image for Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, expressing the posture of the Buddha contemplating deeply on the Dharma. This particular Buddha image attitude is specific for Friday, and Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, was born on Friday. The pensive attitude Buddha image has both hands gently raised and placed together at the chest, symbolizing reflection and consideration, with the right hand placed over the left in a calm, serene gesture, signifying the readiness to deliver the ultimate Dharma for the benefit of the human and other non-human beings. The event leading to the creation of the pensive attitude posture occurred while the Lord Buddha was seated beneath a banyan tree in blissful liberation. He contemplated that the Dharma he had realized was too profound and complex for ordinary beings overwhelmed by the defilements to easily comprehend. Thus, the Lord Buddha thought that he would refrain from teaching the Dharma to anyone. Yet a thought of modest hesitation arose in his mind. The invitation by Brahma Sahampati from the Brahma world reached the Lord Buddha, prompting him to change his decision. Brahma Sahampati declared that there were beings in this world who had the capacity to listen to and understand his Dharma. He therefore pleaded the Lord Buddha to reveal the Dharma for the salvation of the world. The Lord Buddha then surveyed all beings with his Buddha eye and found that there were many with varying ability to comprehend the Dharma, just like the lotus flowers in water in different conditions. The Lord Buddha compared all beings to 3 types of lotus. Those lotus above the water are those people with sharp wisdom who can quickly comprehend the Dharma. Lotus at the water surface are those who shall comprehend after training and cultivation. And lotus underwater are those who are at the beginning of learning, but shall comprehend in the future through perseverance. Finally, the Buddha responded to Brahma Sahampati that he would open the door of Dharma to all who are ready to listen and understand, and declaring that the world shall perish this time if there are none who receive the Dharma. So the pensive attitude Buddha image portrays the moment of contemplation and decision of the Lord Buddha to preach the Dharma for the benefit of all beings, expressed in a calm posture of profound meaning. The Buddha images for birthday anniversary of His Majesty the King's royal father and the Buddha image for the birthday anniversary of Her Majesty the Queen Mother are both Buddha images associated with Thai belief, tradition, and veneration. The pensive attitude Buddha image is regarded as the Buddha image designated for those born on Friday, and is also recognized as a Buddha image for the reign of King Sirikit. So this is the พระพุทธรูปประจำพระชนมวาล or the Buddha image commissioned by the king or members of the royal family to commemorate that significant occasion. Here's the 9-tiered Great White Umbrella of State. Very important royal items. This is being placed right above the royal urn of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. The 90th Great White Umbrella of State was originally covered with patat or traditional cloth, but during the reign of King Rama IV, His Majesty graciously commanded the cloth to be changed to white fabric with 3 tiers of frills trimmed with the gold leaf wire, and adorned with golden champa pendants. The umbrella is topped with a pointed spire in the form of stupa, and it is set up above the royal throne in accordance with royal tradition and is regarded as the most important of the royal regalia. His Majesty the King graciously commanded the erection of the 9-tiered white royal umbrella above the royal urn of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, marking the first time in history that the 9-tiered white royal umbrella, the highest insignia of royal dignity, has been bestowed upon a member of the royal family on the maternal side. According to the record in the royal coronation ceremony, when His Majesty the King receives the anointment water at the Atatip Utumporn royal throne, the royal Brahmin priest presents the 9-tiered great white umbrella in humble tribute, and then royal officials carried it in procession to the Patrabit throne hall, where His Majesty receives the royal regalia, royal decorations of the highest orders, and royal utensils, signifying the full sovereign kingship. The 9-tiered great white royal umbrella is also erected in other significant locations, including above the royal bed in the Chakrapat Piman throne hall, above the royal throne in the Paisan Taksin throne hall, the Amarin Vinishai throne hall, the Chakri Maha Prasat throne hall, the Dusit Maha Prasat throne hall, which is where we are now, and the Ananta Samakom throne hall. When the king passes away, officials erect the 9-tiered white umbrella of state above the royal urn throughout the period in which the royal remains are enshrined. When the royal cremation is performed, the 9-tiered great white royal umbrella is erected above the royal cremation pile throughout the cremation ceremony, and officials respectfully gather and enshrine the royal ashes for one night. You're watching the live telecast of the royal merit making ceremony on the occasion of the 15th day of passing of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. Her Majesty passed away peacefully on the 24th of October 2025 at Chulalongkorn Memorial Hospital. And on the 25th of October, the royal remains of Her Majesty was transferred from the hospital to Dusit Prasat Throne Hall. This is the interior decoration within the Dusit Prasat Throne Hall, and the royal urn is enshrined at the western portico. You can see the central shrine where the Buddha image, according to the birth date of Her Majesty the Queen, is being enshrined. Motor car of Their Majesties the King and Queen has now arrived at the gate of the Dusit Prasat Throne Hall beside the Rajakaranya Sabha Pavilion. The Guard of Honor presents a royal salute, and the Royal Army and the Royal Thai Army Band plays the royal anthem. Their Majesties the King and Queen are accompanied by His Royal Highness Prince Tipankon Rasami Chod, Maha Wachirot Tamangpoon, Suriyubun Rajkuman, and her noble consort, Sidina Pilat Kalayani. Their Majesties the King and Queen are now entering the ground of the Dusit Prasat Throne Hall. In a moment, they will be ascending via the Crescent porch of Piman Rataya Throne Hall and proceed into Dusit Prasat Throne Hall, passing members of the royal family in attendance to the sites of the royal urn. And at the time, the court musicians will sound the conch, royal trumpets, European trumpets, and victory drums, and the B part ensemble will play slow traditional tune. Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Srinthorn, Her Royal Highness Princess Julapon Kromapra Sui Swankawat, and Her Royal Highness Princess Atityathon Kittikun will stand before their royal chairs. Their Majesties the King and Queen have been welcomed by members of the royal family. His Majesty the King lights the incense candles of the royal offering set of gold with Rajavadi animal, and also lights the incense candles of the small golden offering set or Krung Thong Noi before the royal urn and pays homage. Her Majesty the Queen lights the incense candles of the secondary royal offering set of gold with animal, and also lights the incense candles of the small golden offering set before the royal urn, and also pays homage. Her Majesty the Queen remains standing before the royal chair. While His Majesty the King proceeds to light the incense candles of the double-tiered golden offering tray in veneration of the Buddha image of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother's birthday, before the royal altar under the 9-tiered white umbrella of state, and pays homage. Their Majesties the King and Queen received the homage of those in attendance and take their royal seat. The Pipat Ensemble ceases playing. Officials will now invite His Holiness Somdet Phra Ariya Wongsa Khatayana, the Supreme Patriarch, to present the Buddhist precepts.
โมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธเวชชาจารณะสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิทูอนุตตรวะปุริสธรรมสารติสัตตะเทวมนุสสานังพุทโธภะคะวะติสวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมสันเดติโกอะกาลิโกเอหิปัสสิโกโอปัญญิโกปัจจตังเวทิตาโปวิญโยหิติสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอุชุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆญาญาปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสามีจิปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆยะติตาจัตตาริปุริสโยคานิอาตาปุริสปุปนาเอสัพพะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุนายโยอาหุนายโยตาคินายโยอัญชลียการณิโยอโลตรังปุญญาเกตังโลกัสสติภาหุงสาสัมมาภิเนมิตาสาวุตานังเรเมกัลลังอุทิตาโกรัสเสนามาลังทานาทิตามาวิตินาจิตวามุนินอันเตจะสาปวัตจยมังคลานิมาราติเรกามาภิโยจิตตัพพาราติงโกลัมปนาลวะกามากามตาตยาตังคันเตสุตันตวิตินาจิตวามุเลนโดดาเตจะสาภวตุเตจยมังคลานินาลากิริงกจวะกังอติมาตะโพดังทาวากิจากรรมสเนวสุตารุนันตังเมตตามโพเสกวิธินาจิตวามุนินโดตันเตจะสาจยมันคลังนิโอเกตกากรรมติหาตสุตารุนันตังทาวาติโยจนะปะตังกุลิมาลวันตังอิทิยหิสังคตมโนจิตวามุนินโตตันเตจะสาภวตุเตจยมังคลานิกัตวานากาตมุตตะอิวะกาปินิตินจายโตตวะจันจนากายมาเตสันเตนะโสมวิตินาจิตวามุนินโดนันเตจะสาภวตุเต จิกวะโมเนนโตตันเตระสาภวตุเตจยมังคลานินันโตปนะกัปปุจกังวิปุตังมหิติงปุตเตอนาเตระปุจเกอนาตมะปยันโตอิโตทิตวาโมเนนโตตันเตจสาภวตุเตจยมังคลานิโตกังอติติปุจเกนะสุทาสหัสถังรัมมังวิสุทธิตุติเมติปังติตานัญญาณกเตมวิตินาจิตวาโมเนนโตดันเตจะสาภวตุเตจยมังคลานิเตเตพุทธทยมังคลาอัตตกาทายโยวาจันโนตินาติเนสารเตนาดันเดตวานันเนกวิวิตานิจุปัตตวานิโมภะสุขังอติกัมยานโรสปัญโยมหาการุณิโมนาโตอิตายาสาปวานินางปุเรตวาปารมิสัพพะปัตโตสัมโพธิมุตตมังเอเตนะสัจจวัจเจนะโหตุเตจยมังคลาจยันโตโพธิยาโมเลนังนันทิวัฒโนเอวังกวังวิจโยโอหิจยาสุจยมังคเลนะปาราชิตบันลังเกเสเสปัตวิโมคาเรนะปิเสเกสัพพะโหนานาคาปะโตปะโมตติสุนังขันตังสุมังคลังสุปาปาตังสุโหติตังสุขโนสุโมโหโตจะสุเยตังพรหมจาริสุปตากินังกายกรรมังวาจากรรมังปตากินังปตากินังมโนกรรมังปณิทิเตปตากินาปตากินานิจัตวานลพันตันเตปตากิเนภวตุสาปมังคลังราคันตุสาปเตวะจาสาปพุทธานุภาเวนัสธาโสติภวันตุเตภวตุสาปมังคลังราคันตุสาปเทวตาสาปธรรมานุภาเวนัสธาโสติภวันตุเตภวตุสาปมังคลังราคันตุสาปเทวตาสาปสังฆานุภาเวนัสธาโสติภวันตุเต
Following the presentation of the precept by His Holiness the Supreme Patriarch, the 30 monks that chanted the Buddhist protective verses of Parita yesterday during the royal merit making ceremony in the evening, then present blessing. His Majesty the King will now make the offerings of food contained in tiffin carriers to His Holiness the Supreme Patriarch, honorific monks at the level of Somdet Parachakana and Parachakana, and to all 10 sanghas on the monastic platform, have been presented with offerings. Then His Majesty will take his royal seat. Another group of 20 monks out of the 30 monks that chanted the Paritta yesterday evening will now receive the offerings of food contained within the tiffin carriers. His Majesty graciously designates members of the royal family, royal cousins, members of the Privy Council, and high-ranking officials to present the offerings. The congregation of monks that just chanted the blessings was led by His Holiness the Supreme Patriarch, who's the abbot of Ratchabapitsatit Maha Temple. Other members of the congregation include Somdet Prabhutajaan from Trimit Vidyaram Temple, Somdet Pramahathirajaan from Prachetupon Vimol Manglaram Temple, Somdet Pramahaviravung from Rajabapitsatit Mahasimaram Temple, Somdet Pramaha Rachamongkol Mini from Trimit Vidyaram Temple. The officials are now withdrawing the tiffin carriers and proceed to lay the auspicious long robe of cloth known as Prapusayung. The royal ceremonial officer have now brought the toy, which is the device used to support the Prapusayung, or the connecting cloth, extending from the front area of the Suwan Benjadon throne. And this Prapusayung is drawn from the base of the royal urn and passes over the Gan ornament in the front, then descends onto the Pan Pramahakatin, or the royal offering tray. The ceremony officers are gradually unfolding the Prapusayung and placing it on the toy, which serves as the supporting for the cloth in order to connect its end with another Prapusayung placed upon the Pan Pramahakatin at the monk seats. At the monastic platform, the ceremonial officers will first spread a white cloth as a base covering the monk seats, then lay out the Prapusayung to the full length of the platform where the monks are seated. And finally, the officers will join together the ends of the two Prapusayung cloth. This serves as auspicious item of royal religious ceremonies, as a connector between the royal urn and the monastic platform, so as to convey the merit made by the offering of the saffron robes by His Majesty the King to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. His Majesty the King is making offering of 10 saffron robes to the 10 monks. This is the first round of the offerings of saffron robes to all participating monks. In the first part, which consists of 30 monks who chanted Paritta during the ceremony yesterday evening. His Majesty the King now taking his royal seat, and the monks will chant the Sadapagon verse. His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen will now pour lustre water as a dedication of merit.
ติระโสยถา
สัพพิติโยวิวัจจันตุสัพพะโรโควินาศตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีติกายุโกภวสัพพิติโยวิวัจจันตุสัพพะโรโควินาศตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีติกายุโกภวสัพพิติโยวิวัจจันตุสัพพะโรโควินาศตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีติกายุโกภวะอภิวาทนาสิเลจเนจังวุฒาปัจจายโนจัตตารโอธัมมาวัฏันติอายุวันโนสุขังภาลังอัฏฐาสิเมนะกาสิเมยาติเมตาสกาจะเมเตตาทาคินันตัจจาปุเปกตมโนสรังไงรุนดังวาโสโกวายาวายาปริเทวนานาตังเปตานามา ยะเอวันติติยาตโยอายัญจะโคตากินาเตนะสังฆังมิสุปฏิทิตาเดหะนัมหิตายาสัทธานะโสนุปกาปฏิโสยาติธรรมโมจะยานิทาสิโตเปนานาปุญจาจัตตาอุราราปลัญญาภิกขุนะมโนปฏินันตุเอหิปุญญาณปัสสุตังอนาปกันติอันที่เรียกเลยนะอาเดเรภวัตสตังชีวตุอาเดเรภวัตสตังชีวตุอาเดเรภวัตสตังชีวตุทีกายโกตุอโรโกตุทีกายโกตุอโรโกตุสุขิโตตุปรเมนธมหาราชาสัพพะปรมาราชินีสิทธิกิจจังสิทธิพมังสิทธิลาโภจโยนิจังปรเมนธมหาราชวรสะปรมณียาสหวัตถุสัพพทาขอถวายพระพรภวตุสัพพมังคลังรากันโดสัพพเทวตาสัพพพุทธานุภาเวนัสสตาโสติภวันตุเตภวตุสัพพมังคลังรากันโดสัพพเทวตาสัพพธรรมานุภาเวนัสสตาโสติภวันภวตุสัพพมังคลังรากันโดสัพพเทวตาสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนัสสตาโสติภวันตุเต ขอถวายพระพรเจริญพระ ระราชสิริสวัสดิ์พิพัฒนมงคลพระชนมสุขทุกประการจงมีแด่สมเด็จพระบรมบพิตรพระราชสมภารเจ้าทั้งสองพระองค์ผู้ทรงพระคุณอันประเสริฐเวลานี้สมควรแล้วอาตมาภาพทั้งปวงขอถวายพระพรลาแด่สมเด็จบรมบพิตรพระราชสมภารเจ้าทั้งสองพระองค์ผู้ทรงพระคุณอันประเสริฐขอถวายพระพร
His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen has poured the lustre water as a gesture of disseminating merit made to the deceased. The monks then chant Anumotana and benedictions, consisting of 6 chants, the water pouring blessing, Sapi So Atalato, and the blessings for their Majesties the King and Queen, Sappa Mongkol Katha, and ending with the benediction of farewell. Upon completion, the monks will now depart from the throne hall. Officials will then invite the next group of 10 monks to take their seats on the monastic platform. And there will be 2 rounds of the 10 monks per group who will be invited for this part of the ceremony. As for the restriction of Buddhist monks concerning food, in the Theravada Buddhist tradition, monks live under a code of discipline, also known as Vinaya or Vinay, that includes detailed rules about food. These are not merely dietary customs, but spiritual practices that cultivate mindfulness, moderation, and gratitude. Monks may eat only between dawn and noon. Monks have 1 or 2 meals a day or taken before 12 noon. After midday, they may drink only certain liquids like water, juice, or clear broth, but no solid food. This rule trains them to live simply, avoid indulgence, and maintain awareness of bodily needs rather than desires. Monks do not cook or store food. They depend entirely on lay people for their food. Every morning, monks go on an alms round or bindabat to receive offerings. They accept whatever is given without asking for specific items, a practice of contentment and humility. Food must be received properly. Monks can only eat what has been offered directly into their alms bowl or presented respectfully by lay people. They may not take food by themselves, steal, or request luxury dishes. Once the offering ceremony is complete, monks may eat the food in silence and mindfulness, reflecting on its purpose, not for pleasure, not for fattening, not for adornment, but only for sustaining this body and continuing the holy life. No eating after it has been stored overnight. Leftover food from the previous day cannot be consumed. The practice prevents attachment to taste, hoarding, and waste, while encouraging daily dependence on the generosity of others. As for the forbidden foods, there are no permanent religious taboos on specific foods, such as meat or vegetarian on the rules, but monks may not eat meat from animals killed specifically for them. Human flesh, intoxicants of blood, or any other obtained through improper means. If lay donors happen to offer meat that was not specifically slaughtered for monks, it is considered acceptable to eat, following the Buddha's teaching on neutral acceptance and non-attachment. Mindful consumption, eating is considered part of spiritual training, so monks eat slowly, silently, and with full awareness, seeing food as medicine for the body, not pleasure for the tongue. So Buddhist monks eat only before noon, accept only what is offered, do not cook or store food, and eat with mindfulness and gratitude. These rules remind them and the lay people who support them that life's sustenance is a shared practice of compassion, moderation, and interdependence. And there are some important restrictions on the daily conduct of Buddhist monks based on the Vinaya or monastic discipline. They all live under a code of discipline established by the Lord Buddha himself over 2,500 years ago. And Theravada monks follow 227 precepts that guide behavior, speech, diet, relationships, and use of possessions. His Majesty the King proceeds to offer the 7 robes to this next group of monks, and they will soon respond by chanting Sadapakan verse. As for the daily restrictions on the conduct of monks, as I have mentioned, no eating after noon, so monks may have only 1 or 2 meals before noon and abstain from solid food until dawn the next day. This trains moderation, mindfulness, and detachment from craving. Monks cannot buy, sell, or keep money. They depend entirely on lay supporters for food, clothing, shelter, and medicine, cultivating humility and gratitude. Monks live under strict celibacy to preserve purity of mind and focus on spiritual development. The 10 monks have now chanted the Sadapakan verse, the requiem for the deceased, and there will be the next group of monks coming up of 10 in number, with the same procedure being repeated again, the offering royal merit making by His Majesty the King for the 10 monks, and the chanting of the Sadapakan verse. These are the monks belonging to the congregation of 30 honorific monks who chanted Parita yesterday. As for the Vinaya, or the conduct of the monastic order, there's no entertainment or adornment. They avoid singing, dancing, watching shows, wearing ornaments, perfumes, or luxurious clothing. They maintain simplicity and concentration, and there's no accumulation of possessions. A monk may only keep the basic requisites: 3 robes, an alms bowl, a belt, a needle, a razor, and a water filter. This supports the principle of non-attachment and equality. And there are restrictions on the communication and the conduct. Monks avoid idle talk, false speech, harsh words, and gossip. They cultivate right speech, speaking only what is truthful, beneficial, and kind. They cannot engage in business, politics, fortune-telling, or any profession for income. Their role is purely spiritual and educational, not economic or political. These restrictions are not punishments, but spiritual disciplines designed to simplify life and reduce distractions, strengthen mindfulness and self-control, build trust between the monastic and lay communities, enable monks to devote their time fully to meditation and teaching the Dharma. The Buddhist monks go out to receive offering of food from the public every morning. This is the practice of the Bindabata or Bindabat. Every morning, Buddhist monks go on an alms round, walking silently through villages or towns to receive food offerings from lay people. This tradition dates back to the time of the Lord Buddha over 2,500 years ago and remains a living connection between the monastic community or Sangha and society. The alms round is not begging, it is a practice of humility, interdependence, and compassion. Monks go with empty bowls as a symbol of letting go of pride and desire. They receive whatever is offered without choosing as an act of acceptance and equanimity. Lay people give food as an act of generosity or than, one of the most important Buddhist virtues to support the monk's spiritual path. Thus both sides practice the Dharma. Monks cultivate detachment and gratitude. Lay people cultivate generosity and joy in giving. Mudita. The practice creates a reciprocal relationship between the monastic and lay communities. Monks rely on lay supporters for their physical sustenance. Lay people rely on monks for spiritual guidance and teachings. And this mutual dependence reinforces the Buddhist ideal of a harmonious and compassionate society. You're watching the live telecast of the Royal Merit Making Ceremony on the 15th day Panrasamawan in dedication to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, at Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall in the Grand Palace. The officials will invite further group of monks to take their monastic seat on the monastic platform to receive the offering of saffron robes from His Majesty the King. The officials are now helping the monks by taking their fans of rank as well as the offerings of the saffron robes. The congregation of monks is now leaving the hall of the Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall, and the next group of monks will now be entering the hall. For monks, walking mindfully and silently through the community is a form of moving meditation. For lay people, preparing and offering food with good intention cultivates mindfulness and a moment of peace at the start of the day. In countries like Thailand, the morning alms round also represents a peaceful rhythm of daily life, a visible reminder of spiritual values in the busy world. The sight of saffron-robed monks receiving alms in silence symbolizes purity, compassion, and the continuity of the Buddha's teaching. As for the monastic order of the Buddhist monks and the royally bestowed appointment of honorific sanghas, the term sangha, or the monastic order, refers to the monastic community of ordained Buddhist monks. In Pali, this is known as bhikkhu, who live according to the monastic code or the Vinaya or Vinay. In Thailand and many Theravada countries, the Sangha is institutionalized. There's a hierarchical and administrative structure covering major orders or Nikaya, regional divisions, and local temples. At the national level in Thailand, the highest monastic office is the Somdet Parasankarat, or Supreme Patriarch, who presided over the chanting this morning. He is appointed by the king and leads the Sangha throughout the country. Beneath the Supreme Patriarch, there are subordinate levels of monastic administration, provincial, district, temple and abbot levels, which handle local affairs of monks, discipline, ordination, education, and so forth. So functionally, the Sangha maintains the training, ordination, and discipline of monks, preserves and teaches the Dharma, the Buddhist doctrine, and Vinaya, or the discipline, provides a moral, educational, and social role in society. The monks teach, counsel, lead meditation, and perform rituals. And the Sangha participates in national and regional religious organization, often under royal or state patronage. Within the monastic order, especially in countries with a monarchy like Thailand, there's a tradition of honorific ecclesiastical titles or ranks bestowed by the king or the monarch to monks of high merit, seniority, or outstanding service. These titles do not necessarily create new doctrinal functions, but signify recognition, status, and formal rank within the monastic hierarchy. For example, Paracha Kana, Chao Kana Yai, Prakru, and so on. The highest of these titles may be held by monks who also serve in administrative leadership roles of the Sangha. For example, the Supreme Patriarch receives an appointment from the king. The system of honorific ranks in Thailand is specified in law and regulation, for example, under the Sangha administration statutes, and includes 9 major levels and 20-something distinct ranks. These appointments often come with privileges, higher status in monastic gathering, greater responsibility, and sometimes government or royal support. So according to the Thai Public Relations Department, the level 1 of the ranking structure is the Supreme Patriarch. Level 2 is the Great Sangha Leader, Maha Sanghanayok, and Chao Kana Yai, or the Chief Provincial Sangha. Level 3, the Paracha Kana, which is divided into subclasses. For example, Tham, Tep, Rat, and ordinary levels. So a monk might receive elevation from Prakru to royal rank, common class, or Paracha Kana, Chan Saman, followed by Paracha Kana at the level Tep or Rat, and then Supreme Patriarch. This is the process of groups of 11 monks from the 93 monks participating in the Sadapagon chanting, being invited to the monastic platform. And this total number of 93 is equivalent to the age of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. For the first group of 11, they have chanted the Matika verse for the deceased. And His Majesty the King is now offering saffron robes to the participating monks at this stage. The chanting of Matika, the word Matika comes from Pali. Matika meaning matrix, summary, or list of principles. In the Abhidhamma Pitaka, Matika refers to a classified list of Dharma topics, a matrix or summary of teachings that forms the framework for detailed exposition. Refer to the chanting of certain canonical verses, Pali stanzas, performed by monks before or after a meal, offering a merit-making. Also following being offered the saffron robes, chanted Sadapagon verse, a requiem for the deceased, while the long connecting cloth, the Prapusayong, is in place. This is to transmit the merit made.
Vạ mê vạ ị tô thiên năng pê ta năng upakapati ị thị tăng bát thị tăng tung hăng khi pam mê vạ samit cha tu sap he pu ren tu sang ka pa jan tho panara so ya tha mani cho ti ra so ya thaตังอนาปกา กะวัสสะสตังชีวตุอาติเรกะวัสสะสตังชีวตุอาติเรกะวัสสะสตังชีวตุทีคายุโกโหตุอโรโคโหตุทีคายุโกโหตุอโรโคโหตุสุขิโตโหตุปรเมนทมหาราชาสัปรมราชินีสิทธิกิจจังสิทธิกัมมังสิทธิลาโภชโยนิจังปรเมนทมหาราชวรัสสะปรมราชินียาสหภวตุสัพพทาขอถวายพระพรภวตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพพุทธานุภาเวนัสสตาโสทิภวันตุเตภวตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพธรรมานุภาเวนัสสตาโสทิภวันตุเตตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนัสสตาโสทิภวันตุเต
ขอถวายพระพรเจริญพระราชสิริสวัสดิ์พิพัฒนมงคลพระชนมสุขทุกประการจงมีแด่สมเด็จบรมบพิตรพระราชสมภารเจ้าทั้งสองพระองค์เวลาผู้ทรงพระคุณอันประเสริฐเวลานี้สมควรแล้วอาตมาภาพทั้งปวงขอถวายพระพรลาแด่สมเด็จบรมบพิตรพระราชสมภารเจ้าทั้งสองพระองค์ผู้ทรงพระคุณอันประเสริฐขอถวายพระพร
Following the offering of the seven robes to the first group of monks who chanted Parita yesterday, the monks then chant the Sadapakorn verse, which is a royal memorial chanting ceremony conducted exclusively for the highest members of the monarchy. And during this sacred ritual, monks recite passages from the Abhidhamma, the profound Buddhist teachings on the nature of mind, consciousness, and ultimate truth. This chanting accompanies a series of ritual offerings and it reflects a union of royal duty and spiritual devotion. It's a moment when the royal household, alongside the nation, pauses in solemn contemplation. Together they offer merits, express gratitude for the life of service, and pray for the peaceful, noble journey of the royal spirit. This is followed by the pouring of the lustral water by Their Majesties the King and Queen. And every droplet carries a message of love and remembrance. The gesture pouring of water into a receptacle after carrying out an act of offering items for benefits of monks' daily living is to disseminate the merit made to the deceased. The clean water is comparable to the pure mind and kindness of man. The flow of water into the receptacle is comparable to the flow of kindness from one's heart that has been shown to other people. This gesture of pouring of water therefore requires pure water. The pouring water as a gesture of disseminating the merit made to the deceased is often carried out in all merit-making events, both auspicious ones and not auspicious ones, such as funeral ceremony, in order to disseminate the merit that one has carried out for the benefits of the deceased. The water used for this ritual needs to be pure and clean without any contaminant. So now for the next group of monks, from the total of 93 monks. are due to receive the offering of saffron robes from His Majesty the King. The tradition of having monks equal in number to the age of the deceased chant prayers at a funeral or memorial has roots in ancient Buddhist merit-making and Thai royal monastic tradition. The practice of inviting a number of monks equal to the age in years of the deceased stems from Theravada Buddhist custom, interwoven in with the Thai court and temple traditions. It reflects the principle of merit transference. Patithanamai, that is performing acts of merit and dedicating them to the departed. Each monk symbolizes one completed year in life of the deceased. Thus, the total number of monks represents the fullness of the life lived. And this gesture expresses both gratitude and a wish for continued blessings and peaceful transition in the next existence. So this is the second group of monks out of the 93 honorific monks that participated in the chanting of Parita yesterday evening during the royal merit making on the occasion of the 15th day following the passing of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. Then it will be followed by the next group of monks who will receive this offering of the saffron robes until all the total number of 93 monks receive the offerings of the patrai or the saffron robes from Their Majesties the King and Queen and also Her Royal Highness Princess Maha Her Majesty the Queen and Her Royal Highness Princess Maha will be graciously designated by His Majesty the King to represent him in presenting the saffron robes to the later groups of the Sanghas. In the royal and state funeral traditions of Thailand, the number of chanting monks traditionally matches the number of years in the royal person's age at death. So in this case, of the passing of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, who was 93 years old, 93 monks are invited to chant. This practice not only honors the individual's long life, but also signifies the completeness of their years in worldly existence, while invoking blessings for a peaceful passage to the next state of being. The practice is derived from the Vinayas and Suttas, repeated emphasis on Sankikadana, offering and rites conducted before the whole Sangha bring greater merit. So, the tradition of inviting monks equal to the deceased age is a symbolic act of gratitude and completeness, each monk representing 1 year of the person's life, each chant returning merit to honor that year, and the whole ceremony embodying compassion, remembrance, and spiritual closure. His Majesty the King is now laying the offering of saffron robes for this next group of 11 monks. He will then return to the royal seat and the monks will chant the Sadapakorn verse. I have mentioned about the arrangement of the monastic order. It has institutional significance. The monarchy, by granting these titles, reinforces the connection between the state and the Sangha, aligning monastic authority with royal patronage and national religion. For lay people, the title of monk signals his standing, experience, and trustworthiness. It helps in identifying senior teachers, abbots, and spiritual leaders. Honorific progression of the Sangha, apart from the institutional significance and social significance, there's also the religious symbolic significance, as it honors monks who have earned merit, upheld discipline, taught widely, and contributed to the Sangha and society. The governance significance is also present. The hierarchy enables organization of the Sangha, oversight of monastic discipline, education, ordination, and relations with the state. In Thailand, the head of the Buddhist Church is the Supreme Patriarch. The executive power is vested in the Council of the Ecclesiastical Ministers, which to a great extent corresponds to the Cabinet Council of the state. And for this council, there are ecclesiastical ministers, including the Sangha Nikaya, ecclesiastical premier, ecclesiastical ministers for administration, for propagation, for education, and for public welfare, and ecclesiastical deputy ministers. The rest are ecclesiastical ministers without portfolio. Now, the next group of 10 honorific monks who chanted the Paritta yesterday are taking their seats on the monastic platform. Yesterday there was a presentation of a sermon, a Buddhist sermon, by Praprum Vajrarangsi from Wat Bowan Nivet Vihan in Bangkok. The sermon is titled Piya Karana Dhammakatha. This is a discourse in commemoration of the royal virtues and to adorn the perfection of wisdom on the occasion of the royal merit-making ceremony, in accordance with the Buddhist tradition of offering merit to the departed, in this case to Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, of revered grace, whose passing has now reached the 15th day. And the royal meritorious act was performed in observance of the Dharma of gratitude, as befits the conduct of the noble and virtuous, in accordance with the Pali scriptural teaching. Gratitude and grateful acknowledgement are the proper attributes and practices of the noble and good. His Majesty the King graciously designates Her Majesty the Queen to present the offering of saffron robes to this group of honorific monks who chanted Paritta yesterday. Following the receipt of the saffron robes, the monk will chant the Sadapagon verse. sermon on Piyakarana Thammakatha discourse by Phra Vajrarangsi. Yesterday, he said that Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, devoted the full strength of her body, heart and wisdom in the performance of numerous royal duties, accompanying His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej the Great of revered memory. She bestowed love and compassion upon her subjects as a mother cares for and protects her beloved children. Her Majesty was endowed with immense merit and spiritual power, dedicating herself to the happiness and prosperity of the nation, the religion and the people in countless ways that defy description, both in her personal virtues and her selfless acts for the public good. Her Majesty possessed keen discernment and far-reaching vision, extending throughout the realm. Together with His Majesty and the royal family, she graciously traveled to visit her people in every region and condition. No village too remote, no forest too deep, no mountain, valley, marsh, or plain too distant. Nowhere was beyond her compassionate sight and hearing. She waded through rivers, walked through fields, and entered the forests and mountains without fear or hesitation to personally bring development and improvement to those regions. Wherever she set foot, success and progress followed. From these royal labors arose numerous royally initiated projects, foundations under royal patronage, and royal development programs across the kingdom, such as the Support Foundation, Promoting Arts and Crafts Foundation, and the Small Homes in Big Forest Project, among many others. She promoted education, vocational development, and environmental conservation, together with the preservation of traditional arts, culture, and heritage, ensuring that these remained a treasured identity of the Thai nation. Her Majesty's countless royal undertakings have greatly improved the quality of life of the Thai people, especially the poor and those living in remote rural areas, and have brought enduring stability and prosperity to the nation to this very day. The preacher also mentioned that Her Majesty the Queen Mother, of most gracious virtue, possessed gentle and graceful conduct, a serene and pleasant voice, and an enduring presence. She was endowed with profound insight and wisdom, firmly established in the Dharma, and performed all royal duties with perfection and compassion. She was loved, respected, and revered throughout the land, in full accord with the Buddhist saying cited at the beginning from the Khandaka Nikaya Dhammapada. The one who is endowed with morality, insight, established in the Dharma, truthful in speech, and diligent in their duties, becomes beloved by all. Her Majesty the Queen has been graciously designated by His Majesty the King to present the saffron robes to this next group of honorific monks. According to the Piyakarana Thammakatha discourse by Phra Vajrarangsi, delivered by the Royal Command at the Royal Merit Making Ceremony yesterday, he spoke that according to the Pali teaching of the Buddha, those who cultivate qualities mentioned become calm, disciplined, and graceful, worthy of love, respect, and veneration by all. Now, these are the 5 virtues that render one beloved as a means to cultivate wisdom and right conduct. The first one is complete in morality. The word seen or sila means normality, the natural state of the body, speech, and mind that refrains from evil. When a person resolves not to commit harm or violence by body, refraining from killing or hurting others, that person's body is said to be in the state of sila or normalcy. When one abstains from false, harsh, divisive, or frivolous speech, and instead speaks truthfully, gently, harmoniously, and beneficially, that speech is likewise sila. And when the mind is free from ill will and unwholesome thoughts, the mind itself becomes sila. Moreover, sila or seen also means coolness, for morality cools both body and mind. A society where sila prevails is peaceful and harmonious. Even the mere presence of a moral person brings comfort and serenity to others. It is said that morality is a weapon that conquers coarse defilements, a shield that protects from danger, a ladder that raises one higher, a virtue that refines and beautifies a person, an adornment of incomparable elegance. Whoever possesses morality becomes composed, dignified, and respected by all. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, was perfect in moral virtue, gentle, humble, graceful, and revered by the people. Thus, being complete in morality is the first of these Piyakarana Dhammakatha. The second, complete in vision. The term tasana means seeing, clear, penetrative insight that arises within the mind. It is akin to view and wisdom. While pana may be innate, what is called sajja tiya pana, wisdom carried from birth, tasana refers to insight arising from study, practice, and contemplation, leading to direct realization of truth as it truly is. Such insight allows one to perceive causes and results, to understand deeply, and to apply that knowledge for true benefit. Her Majesty the Queen has just presented another set of 7 robes to the next group of honorific monks. Out of the 93 monks who chanted Parita, this is another group of the honorific monks out of 93 monks participating in today's event, equal in number to the age of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. This is part of the traditional conduct of royal merit-making ceremony for the royal remains of members of the monarch. According to the sermon delivered yesterday, Piyakarana Dhammakatha discourse by Praprum Vajrarangsi, he mentioned about the being complete in vision. Such insight allows one to perceive causes and results, to understand deeply, and to apply the knowledge for true benefit. For example, when the 5 ascetics heard the Buddha's first sermon, 4 did not yet attain realization, but Gonanda experienced awakening at that moment, realizing the truth. All things that arise are subject to cessation. This realization is tasana. When such seeing arose in his mind, defilements subsided, and he attained stream entry, becoming the Buddha's first noble discipline, the first noble disciple. Thus, one endowed with tasana possesses excellent vision and foresight, perceiving clearly the causes, results, and means for improvement and progress. Her Majesty the Queen Mother was perfect in tasana, endowed with far-sighted vision and deep understanding. Her Majesty saw through to the heart of problems and brought development and well-being to her people across the land. Hence, she was revered and loved by all. Perfection in vision is therefore the second Piya Karana Dhammakatha. The third part, or the third virtue, being delivered during the sermon, is to do with steadfastness in righteousness. The term Dhamma in this Pali verse denotes uprightness, justice, impartiality, and fairness. Thus, to be steadfast in Dhamma means to be firmly established in justice. Justice, it is taught, arises when the mind is free from bias. The absence of bias means freedom from the four partialities. Her Royal Highness Princess Maha has been graciously designated by His Majesty the King to offer the presentation, the 7 robes to the participating monks, 10 in number, which form part of the 93 congregation of monks that participate in today's event. Talking of the 4 partialities, which having the partiality through desire, for instance, favoring a person one likes by granting him a position or honor, even though he's not worthy of it, is something that one needs to avoid. Partiality through hatred, for example, refusing to grant a position to someone one dislikes or bears anger towards, or even though he deserves it. Partiality through delusion, such as making a judgment without sufficient inquiry or reflection, as when one hastily condemns another based on accusation without due examination, thus possibly erring in judgment. And partiality through fear, such as complying with an unjust request out of fear, for example, appointing an unqualified person to a post merely because one fears displeasing its superior. Presentation of saffron robes by Her Royal Highness Princess Maha, the monks chanted the Sadapakorn verse. The sermon yesterday mentioned the biases related to the 4 partialities. In whom these biases dwell, that person's life is like a rudderless ship that cannot sail straight. Veering left and right, it eventually stalls, it cannot move forward. Such a life cannot prosper, it remains in darkness as the moon on the 15th of the waning fortnight. As the Buddha declared, whoever transgresses righteousness through desire, hatred, delusion, or fear, his honor and reputation decline and fade, just as the moon wanes in the dark fortnight. Therefore, those who are steadfast in Dharma, upright and just in all things, are loved and respected by all. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, was steadfast in righteousness and justice, extending her benevolence and compassion equally to all her subjects without favoritism, and thus she was deeply revered and beloved by the people. And this is the third Piyakarana Thammakatha discourse, according to Praprum Vajrarangsi, who delivered the sermon yesterday. Now we come to the fourth virtue, truthful speech. Satya, or truth, means what is real, genuine, and certain. Truthful speech is one of the foremost virtues of a person. Whoever speaks truth, the wise declare, is deserving of honor, respect, and trust, one who can be relied upon. Therefore, the Blessed One admonished that one should guard and uphold the truth. The person who guards the truth is one who speaks as he acts and acts as he speaks, in accordance with the Buddha's teaching. One who speaks as he acts. True speech, which brings real benefit and happiness, should be gentle, harmonious, beneficial, and appropriate to time and circumstance. A person who habitually speaks in this way earns the trust, respect, and veneration of others. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, was firmly established in truth and sincerity. One who speaks truthfully. For this reason, the Thai people remain loyal, devoted, and reverent towards Her Majesty. And this is the fourth Piyakarana Kammakatha. The fifth virtue is the diligence in one's duties. Concerning this, the Blessed One taught that a person should reflect upon what he has done and what he has yet to do. The phrase one's own duties must be understood according to one's position and role. For parents and householders, household responsibilities are their rightful duties. For village or local leaders, the welfare of their community is their duty. For district chiefs and provincial governors, the administration of their jurisdiction is their duty. For national leaders, the governance and stewardship of the country's prosperity and stability are their duties. And for Buddhist faithful, living according to moral precepts and preserving the Buddha's teaching constitute their true duties. Whoever in their respective position performs their duties with diligence, honesty, and righteousness will meet with success, progress, and stability. The people will in turn experience happiness and prosperity as a result. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother of boundless virtue, faithfully fulfill all royal duties and responsibilities with perfection and excellence. She performed every task with diligence and integrity, and this is therefore the fifth Piyakarana Thammakatha. Her Royal Highness Princess Maha has graciously presented saffron robes to the monks. In conclusion of the Buddhist sermon delivered yesterday during the royal merit-making ceremony in the evening, when these five Piyakaranatham, the perfection in morality, perfection in vision, steadfastness in righteousness, truthfulness in speech, and diligence in one's duty are fully established in a person, that person becomes loved, respected, and revered by all. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother of most exalted virtue, was steadfast in all 5 of these noble qualities, evident to the Thai people and admired throughout the world. Nations and peoples everywhere have joined in offering praise, loyalty, and reverence to Her Majesty in immeasurable abundance, as has been delivered in the discourse yesterday. By the power of the royal merit and virtuous acts performed through this offering and dedication of merit by His Majesty the King of supreme grace and virtue, the preacher said that may the full blessings and fruitful results of these merits be dedicated to Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, in fulfillment of His Majesty's royal intention in every way and respect. This exposition of the Piya Karana Tham, the discourse on the virtues that give rise to love, respect, and reverence, has been respectfully delivered in full accordance with the royal occasion. And as the sermon delivered yesterday on the occasion of the royal merit-making ceremony on the 15th day following the passing of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, delivered by พระพรหมวชิรรังสี of Wat Bawar Niwet Vihar in Bangkok. The sermon portrays Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, as a living embodiment of the 5 Piya Karana Tham, a model of moral purity, wisdom, justice, truth, and devotion to duty, whose virtues continue to illuminate the Thai nation and uphold the moral ideals of the Buddhist faith. The sermon concludes that those endowed with these 5 virtues become universally loved and respected. And Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, perfectly embodied these noble qualities, inspiring admiration across Thailand and beyond. Her Royal Highness Princess Maha by the gracious command of His Majesty the King, is now offering the saffron robes to the next group of monks out of the 93 monks taking part in today's event, equivalent in number to the age of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, regarded being a mother as her most significant role. Her Majesty's loving kindness and deep concern for the people, particularly the underprivileged and those in distress, place her in the prestigious status as the mother of the Thai nation. As a mother of 4, Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, saw herself as a model for her children. Thai people were accustomed to Her Majesty's great manner, gentle words, and genuine concern over their plight, whether they had the fortune of direct contact with Her Majesty or were watching from afar. Such qualities were passed on to the royal children, who grew up as well-mannered and caring royals, all of them comfortable with their subjects. Her Majesty the Queen Mother paid close attention to the upbringing of all the royal children. She personally supervised their daily routines, ensuring their good health and hygiene and a balanced diet. Her Majesty spent the evening hours with them, seeing that they attended to their homework and studies, as well as leading their prayers. Her Royal Highness Princess Maha Sirinthorn, in an essay on Mother, marking National Mother's Day, gave this account. When we came up with an evening meal, Mother would be present whenever she was free from functions. First, she would check the nutritional value of the dishes, and second, make sure our table manners were proper, and third, what we and all the guardians liked the most, she always had interesting stories to tell us at the table. She would select books to read to us in diverse subjects, in history, important personalities, and general knowledge. Sometimes she selected items from weekly papers. When we got a little older, she read English articles to us as well. Occasionally there would be quizzes to refresh our memories. The winner would get 1 baht as a prize. We said jokingly in the family that the most boring stories would become exciting and colorful when told by Mother. Her Majesty the Queen Mother performed her function as the first teacher in her children's life, and she took also people in the rural areas under her care, giving them knowledge, vocational skills, the opportunities to earn their living. His Majesty proceeds to the front of the table of offerings in front of the royal platform underneath the 90th Great White Umbrella of State and pays homage. Their Majesties the King and Queen proceed to the front of the royal urn and pay homage to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit the Queen Mother. His Majesty the King then passes by the ranks of officials in attendance and proceeds to light the incense and candles of the mother of pearl offering trays before the altars where the royal funeral monks chant the Abhidhamma scriptures on both the eastern and western sides of the northern portico of Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall. He then pays homage and graciously receives the homage of those in attendance. The monks chant Abhidhamma scriptures. Their Majesties the King and Queen, accompanied by His Royal Highness Prince Tipankon Rasami Chod, Mahawachi Rotamangkul, Sri Vipul Rajakuman, and her noble consort Srininath Pilak Kalyani will depart from Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall, descending by the Krasan porch of Pimarathiya Throne Hall to enter the royal motor car and the gate beside Rajakaranya Sabha Pavilion and return to Ampon Satan Residential Hall Dusit Palace. Their Majesties the King and Queen are now in conversation with Her Royal Highness Princess Maha Sirinthorn, as well as Her Royal Highness Princess Julapon. Her Royal Highness Princess Maha Sirinthorn, Her Royal Highness Princess Julapon, Grumaprat Sawak. Princess Atityathon Kittikun stand before their royal chairs. Members of the royal family have been attending the royal merit-making ceremony, which has been conducted every day since the transfer of the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, to Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall on the 25th of October 2025. Her Royal Highness Princess Maha Queen Sirikit, Her Royal Highness Princess Chulaporn Krumaprat Srisawangwat, Her Royal Highness Princess Wanrat Rajaganya have been presiding over the royal merit-making ceremony during this time. You can see here the royal urn of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. So this is the royal merit-making on the occasion of the 15th day following the passing of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother. Their Majesties the King and Queen are now leaving the compound of the Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall. So this is the view of the Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall, the venue of the royal merit-making ceremony, and where the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, will be lying in state until the royal cremation, which will take place in about a year's time from now. It is located in the middle court of the Grand Palace, one of the oldest and most significant ceremonial buildings of the Thai monarchy. Built in 1789 by King Rama I, the founder of the Ratanakosin era. It stands on the west side of the middle court within the Grand Palace presence. The middle court houses the principal throne halls and state apartments, and the hall is enclosed by low cloister walls of the Maha Prasat group, emphasizing its special status. And when it's open, the hall displays the mother of pearl throne and royal bed, and a porch on the north wing, or mukdet, featuring the busabok, or the royal pavilion, used for public audiences. Its unaltered form remains a rare surviving example of early Ratanakosin or Bangkok royal architecture. have been watching the live telecast of the Royal Merit Making Ceremony on the 15th day in dedication to the royal remains of Her Majesty Queen Sirikit, the Queen Mother, at Dusit Maha Prasat Throne Hall in the Grand Palace. Television Pool Thailand would like to thank you for watching this program, and please join us on our next telecast. From your narrator, Captain Dr. Yung Yut Mayala, thank you and goodbye. สวัสดีครับ